Thank you. Senator Schmitt.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. McIntosh, I'll start with you. And maybe you've answered this question for numerous senators before, but I did want to get, given the recent news and some of the concerns that are out there about how outdated some of our systems are, can you give an update on where we're at with modernization and safety?
In regards to modernization, we continue to have several surface safety portfolios that are going to help us maintain some safety standards. I'm going to speak strictly for what we're doing for runway safety. Some of the things that we are deploying now is a Surface Awareness Initiative that has ADS-B technology to give controllers situational awareness of what's going on in the surface. Runway incursion devices is now being deployed at several facilities that alert controllers when a runway has been closed or we have an aircraft on a runway for a prescribed amount of time that could be concerning, and we want to make sure we clear that aircraft. And a third thing that we've actually deployed recently is something called approach runway verification that alerts controllers when we may have a misalignment to a closed taxiway or a active taxiway or lining up for the wrong runway. All three of these tools, if you were to stack them on top of one another, actually gives us better awareness of what's going on. I think the larger question, though, is how are we going to fix the current infrastructure and some of the older things that we have in place? We have facilities that are more than 60 years old, and a lot of the technologies in those facilities are extremely antiquated. Our goal or our hope is that we get bipartisan support to move Senator Duffy's or Secretary Duffy's request forward so we can start bringing controllers and managers the newest equipment that we can bring in from automation, from radar, and from voice switching, where we're better at our jobs in providing safety services.
How long will that take to implement? Let's say we did that in the next 2 months. How long would that take to implement?
The agency would have a goal of deploying that within 4 years, sir. And what I mean by 4 years is putting those items in place and
Does that mean it takes 4 years everywhere, or it's staged so LaGuardia is updated before LAX or something like that? How does that work?
We would prioritize the facilities based on needs. I do know one of the facilities that Secretary Duffy has prioritized already is Philadelphia Area C in the Newark airspace based on some of the outages that we've seen. Okay.
Ms. Baker, I want to turn to you with the time that I have, and I do want to ask Mr. Hybeck a question too, as relates to the DCA tragedy. And we had a hearing. The chairman thankfully convened a hearing on that, and some of the revelations were shocking about the number of near misses that happened at DCA. I mean, across the country, but specifically at DCA. Where do we stand with the grounding of helicopter traffic? And I know this is an Army conversation too, but what is your understanding of where we're at with that right now?
I think I'm going to actually defer that to Mr. McIntosh.
Sure.
In regards to just with the Army helicopters in the Pentagon and
at DCA,
yes, sir.
Right.
We are having communications with DOD right now to ensure compliance. Right now, they are not flying out of the Pentagon until we have further conversations and some of the equipment issues that we experienced the other day are fixed. As far as total grounding, that may be part of the conversation, but right now we haven't had to go and pursue that, as right now the DOD is working with the FAA to make sure that we have safety thresholds in place after the latest outage, sir.
Okay. I know that's something that a lot of committee members are very focused on and wanted to kind of get a lay of the land. Mr. Hybeck, I wanted to ask you specifically about, Kansas City just had a new airport completed. I think it's been very well received. I fly on and out of there occasionally, but I live in the St. Louis area, so Lambert is top of mind always. So this is a little bit more closer to home, a little bit more parochial. The FAA approved a master plan in 2023. Could you just give me an update on the FAA's engagement in St. Louis? It's a pretty unique opportunity. St. Louis has a rich history. I grew up in the shadow of that airport. There's a lot of great opportunities for modernization and for the consolidation there. But can you just give me an idea of your engagement, where things stand?
Yes, absolutely. A lot of exciting things happening in St. Louis, including the construction of the new fighter jet there,
yes,
led by Boeing. Our office has our Central Region office has a great working relationship with the city. We are currently working with them closely to finalize their application under the airport terminal program for the $7 million that they've applied for, working with them to get bids. And I know that will facilitate the consolidation of their 2 terminals, as that's called for in the master plan. There's lots of other programs that we're participating in as well, including the de-icing pad there, some taxiway reconstruction, and I also believe we're also participating in a snow removal equipment building. And then on the horizon, they have an airfield maintenance facility. I know that's in their capital airport plan. So we are tracking very closely the many needs at St. Louis Lambert International Airport and have a great working relationship with the
It's
airport.
pretty unique. I mean, it's a pretty unique asset, and it's right in the middle of the metro. They've got $1 billion runway that, let's just say, is underutilized. It was built right before TWA left the building. And so there's a lot of opportunities for growth there. I know my office will be working with you and working with the airport on that to make sure that that is a world-class facility. And so thanks for the update.
Yeah, we look forward to working with your office and the airport. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.